Hi, my diamonds, my TikTokers, and my Teletubbies. SheilaTruelove here with you. It is Wednesday, and I want to talk about something that this man here, obviously, someone have just hurt his feelings, and he's like on a warpath when it comes to being forgiving. You know, if you forgive too much, that's too much like being an enabler. But let me share this with you briefly. But before I do that, you know, the more chances you give people, the less respect they'll have for you. At least that's the way he feels. And in some cases, I'm sure he's right. You know, you have some people who will take your kindness for weakness or stupidity. But like I said, let's listen into this man.
And so they can come in and get some.
Hold on a moment. Now, he uses a lot of profanity. He's saying these things, not me. So you have to listen to this. Yeah, I got to do my nails. But that's okay, darling. Let's listen to this angry man.
Oh, y'all know what I get fucking sick of hearing?
What?
I get sick of hearing these fucking relationship therapists and these fucking coaches online say, and I quote, "Most people don't want to hear this, but real relationships that last involve a lot of forgiveness." Ha! You gotta accept the fact that your partner isn't perfect and will hurt you and disappoint you and make you upset. Fuck you. I call fucking bullshit. That's called enabling. You're enabling a motherfucker's behavior. Yeah, okay. What we're talking here is you forgot to put the toilet seat down, forgot to do some kind of chore, didn't come help unload the groceries, or maybe you didn't show up on time when you were supposed to show up. Okay, yeah. A lot of forgiveness. Trying to put out this fucking statement that in all relationships involve forgiveness. You know, what are we talking about forgiving here? Fuck. Disrespect, lies, cheating. Come on, man. Fuck y'all. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Them motherfuckers are full of shit. Y'all need to shut the fuck up and stop telling people that they need to be so forgiving. It's not about forgiveness. I forgive you. Shit. It ain't about forgiveness. Nobody should have to just put up with somebody treating them like shit or in a way that they feel unloved. Man, shit, I think that's just a way that these fucking therapists try to make more money. You know, we're going to tell them this fucking lie to lure them in so they can come in and get some coaching from us. Well, we all know people are never going to be honest and tell you everything that they're going through. So you never know what you're telling someone that they should forgive. Not everybody's going to just spit out everything that they've been through in their relationship in front of some therapist. Because to most people, it's embarrassing to let out what they become tolerant to for so many fucking years. Man, fuck that. The problem is not in forgiving. The problem is the lack of intolerance. That's what the fucking problem is. People are just taught these days to just become tolerant. That's why you got all these motherfuckers out there sick to their stomach, hate to bust their fucking bubble, but come back to reality, motherfucker, because in a real relationship, you can't just do whatever the fuck you want. You always have to think about how this is going to affect your fucking partner. And that's what this fucking generation lacks to understand. I promise you, you lose nothing when you choose to walk away from somebody who treats you like you're worth nothing by continuously disrespecting you. The only thing you're going to get out of that is a fucking lesson. A person that doesn't respect you, damn sure ain't gonna respect your relationship. And that works hand in hand. If they don't respect the relationship, then they don't respect you. This is where the fucking problem is. This is why so many people get fucking cheated on out there. And, you know, because people fail to see how much disrespect that they become tolerant to. These motherfuckers out there telling them that they just need to be forgiving. Sorry, but I'll never agree that people out there need to be more forgiving and just understand and accept the fact that they're gonna hurt them. Trust me, I'll forgive you. Not for you, but for me. This is what we need to be teaching people. It's right to forgive. You need to forgive for yourself. Just like fucking chains that are shackling you to your fucking past. Don't let them pollute your heart with fear and bitterness or fucking anger, rooting from all this unforgiveness. Forgive them, because that hate and all of that anger that stays here is just another way of you holding on to them. And they don't fucking belong in your life anymore. Holding on and becoming tolerant and chasing after somebody who doesn't fucking respect you is a surefire way to guarantee that you will never be in a loving fucking relationship. Ever become tolerant to disrespect. The more chances you give somebody, the less respect they'll start to have for you. And they'll forget all about the fucking standards and boundaries that you fucking set. Because they'll know another chance will always be fucking given. Nah, they're not afraid to lose you. That's why they keep disrespecting you. They're not afraid to lose you because they know no matter what, you will never walk away. They get fucking comfortable with depending on your fucking forgiveness. Never let a motherfucker get comfortable with disrespecting you. Stop being so fucking forgiving and let shit fucking slide all the fucking time. People know exactly what the fuck they do and when they do it. You having a good heart is not the fucking problem. If a motherfucker doesn't respect your boundaries, then you need to bounce. You need to leave and don't go back to that. Don't go fucking back. Don't give this motherfucker another chance. They already didn't respect your fucking boundaries. Why run back? That's like trying to heat up them fucking McDonald's.
I hear you, honey. Yeah, I agree with him on several things that he's saying. You know, you have to not permit people to constantly keep disrespecting your boundaries. And I hate the word boundaries lately, because that's all you hear these days with this new generation. Everything is a boundary, and their boundaries are not even reasonable. At the same time, when he says, you know, you can't let anyone disrespect you. Let's think about that word disrespect. What do you consider disrespecting you? Because you have a lot of these men out here today who are unaliving women because they said she disrespected me. What did he find disrespectful? Because you wanted to break up with him? Because you didn't want to be with him anymore? And let's talk about boundaries, your boundaries. A man says he wants a woman to be his peace. And when you're not his peace, you're crossing his boundaries. You know, that word irritates me so desperately, because remember when we first learned about narcissism, and all of a sudden everyone came out of the woodwork. Everyone was a narcissist now. Everyone took it out of context and they took it to the extreme. No, you shouldn't put up with someone who's constantly disrespecting you. And yes, you should forgive people, and to forgive don't necessarily mean reconciliation. But he also said he forgives people for his own reasons, for his own health, the benefit of his health. I forgive people for that reason, along with I forgive them because I understand imperfect people do imperfect things and people mess up. I don't just forgive them for my own selfish reasons. I also forgive you because how many times have we ourselves said we would never do something ever again? And we fell off. And we fell off again. And we fell off again. But you're still trying. So you have to, I can't speak for you. But the way I make decisions is I always go to God in prayer first. And then I meditate on it. And then I have to take each thing as a situational. Everything is situational. Like for me, I will never get back to a person if you cheat on me. I'm a one and done girl on that one. But do I forgive you? Absolutely. If you came clean with me and you were not trying to gaslight me, we could at least be friends because at least you were honest. We could never be in a relationship again. But because of your honesty and your sincerity, yeah, I could find a way that we could hang. Give me some time to digest this and work through it. And yeah, I could come back and forgive you because at least I know to some extent you're not a liar. So there's levels to this forgiveness. And I understand exactly where he's coming from. It's obvious that he was recently hurt or what have you. Let me look at my notes because I don't want to be all over the place here. Now, when he says you can't continue to forgive people when they disrespect your boundaries. And like I said, use that word and take that with a grain of salt with all of this. Boundaries. My boundary is you have to feel the way I feel. You have to see things the way I see it, or you're crossing my boundaries. Oh my God, you're such an abusive. You're abusing me mentally and emotionally. The only reason why I'm laughing at that is because it reminds me of this skit. And there's this kid, they show you the kids from the 70s, the 80s. No, from the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. And when you look at the kids from the 80s, they were mad, stupid, crazy, cool. And then you had the kids from the 90s, they was getting a little worse. And then the 2000s, you ask them to do something, and they just lose their cool. Oh my God, this is mental abuse. You're abusing me. Everything is abuse with these people. Whatever, child. But I know it sounds harsh that, you know, you can't let people constantly cross your boundaries as long as your boundaries are reasonable. Really. Every time you let someone cross a line without consequences, you are enabling. And yes, you show them that there are consequences. And like I said, everything is based on situations, because I already spoke to you about this. Now, people can't change overnight in some areas. Some things are one of the words I hate the most out of the whole vocabulary is a process. However, it's true. Some things it's going to take a process. It's a process. Now, I understand that boundaries are essential for your mental and your emotional well-being. But again, make sure they're reasonable. And personally, me, I'm easy to forgive. I am so easy to forgive, honey. Just ask me for the forgiveness. And as long as you take accountability, I'm with it. To me, accountability, let me tell you what it is to me. Accountability is when you admit you were wrong. You admit I was wrong, and there's no way around it, and you don't play the blame game. Like, you don't go around blaming somebody else because my mother, because my childhood. You don't blame, and you don't make excuses. That's accountability to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone can help me in the comments. I don't give excuses, but I do want reasons, because you see, reasons and excuses is two different things, as I learned dealing with my psychologist. You see, an excuse means it should be excused. Like, this person had mental illness, this person was going through whatever, this person had a nervous breakdown, and that's why they're so and so, and I get that. But a reason, it helps you to exercise like a therapist. When you go to a psychologist, because that's all I use, I don't deal with therapists and social workers and counselors. No, you have to have a PhD behind your name when you're speaking with me. And like the therapist, when I tell them things that I did wrong and I go into details, I tell them everything. He said, when you go into therapy, you're not going to tell the therapist everything because it's embarrassing. No, it's not embarrassing for me. That's why I'm here. I'm going to tell you everything, truly, because I want the help. I want the insight. So when the therapist asks you, well, when you did this and you did that, what was your reasoning? They're not asking you to excuse it, but they want to know the reason. Because that's when we could take it from there. So as long as a person, they take accountability, they own it, they're not making excuses, and they're not blaming. It's always the parents, child. I'm done with all that nonsense. Anyway, I'm willing to forgive very easily. Because that's what I want Jehovah and Jesus Christ to do for me. Treat people and do for people what you would want them to do for you and treat you. And even if people take advantage of your kindness for stupidity, you don't have faith strong enough to believe that Jehovah and Jesus are going to handle those people. See, my faith is strong enough to realize that. At the same time, I do understand, when someone crosses a line, sometimes it could be hard for some people to forgive. That's not my thing. But I do believe that you should speak up. Some people don't like confrontation. But if you're living in the real world, you're going to have confrontation. And that don't necessarily mean it has to be argumentative. Confrontation means you have to confront. You have to confront things, but you have a lot of people who are uncomfortable with having to say no, or they're uncomfortable to let you know that you crossed my boundaries, and I just don't appreciate that. And going forward, I'm hoping that we could, work on that. And if they fall short, I want to know the reason. I don't want no excuses, but I'd like to know the reason, because it helps me to have not just surface understanding. It helps me to have a profound understanding. You see, I can see from the beginning, the middle, and the end. And when you have that, it's called insight. And that's what helps you make better decisions and to see things with clarity. Because I noticed that about a lot of people in this world, they don't have no understanding. They have surface understanding. They don't have a profound, deep understanding. So even though I agree with this man, being an enabler is never acceptable. And you do have to set up boundaries to keep yourself safe, but make sure your boundaries are not stupid. Agree with me. You're abusive. You don't know how to talk to people. Are you what? How old are you again? I'm sorry. Because I see a lot of these men saying that the women are crossing their boundaries. A lot of women are just being disrespectful. She's disrespectful. That's why I blacked her eye, because she was disrespectful. She crossed my boundaries. And then when we ask him exactly, sir, what was that? You know, she wanted to break up with me. And then when I asked her, no, what, you know, or I said something to her and she stood up for herself and she spoke up for herself, she crossed my boundaries. She knows she's not supposed to give me back talk. That's disrespectful. Excuse you? So that's what I'm saying. You have to make sure you're doing things within reason and it's sensible. You have to know how to use discernment. And I got that from going to God in prayer before I make final decisions. And I'm very forgiving. But I'm not a fool and I'm not a sucker either. Don't get it twisted. So there you have it, my darlings. Share your viewpoints and don't forget to help support my channel. You can press the thumbs up button below and I appreciate you. So you already know I love you like crazy. So just help support the channel and it helps the algorithms when you put that little thumbs up. All right. I love you. Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle.